Washington Grown is brought to you by the Potato Farmers of Washington. Learn why Washington is home to the world's most productive potato fields and farmers by visiting potatoes.com. And by the Washington State Department of Agriculture, supporting the viability and vitality of Washington agriculture. And by Northwest Farm Credit Services, supporting agriculture and rural communities with reliable, consistent credit and financial services today and tomorrow.
Hi everyone, I'm Christy Goranson and welcome to Washington Grown. When you drive across Washington State, you can't miss the fields of golden Washington wheat. And not only does wheat create these beautiful landscapes, but people are enjoying it here at home and around the world.
In this episode, we're exploring how wheat and many other Washington products move around the state and into markets both at home and overseas.
We're visiting a father and son wheat farming team.
Okay, Casey.
Nice job, bud.
And I'm making a sourdough loaf at Rind and Wheat.
Look at you, I think we got a natural. We are hiring, so no.
Then Tomas is on the ground at Grant County International Airport where they're flying cherries out to Asian markets.
Export to the People's Republic of China. Look at that.
All this and more today on Washington Grown. It's hard when you're as short as I am.
Come and see Christy, sheep.
Ta-da!
It's like I can taste the sunshine.
Cheers.
Bring him in. Bring him in.
Boom.
The calories are adding up.
No calories in this.
You don't get to do this every day.
Wine, cheese, pastries, bread. Here at Rind and Wheat in Spokane, they have just about everything you need. Whether you're stopping in for breakfast, checking out some sweet treats, or just grabbing a freshly baked loaf of bread, you can get it all here.
I just can't get enough of the goods here. The chocolate croissants, breakfast pizzas.
They have the best chocolate chip cookies ever.
I'm always here for the cheese.
Pastries are my number one, and Ricky always has a great variety of them.
And then his artisan loaves are just really amazing.
We do it all here, right?
I see that.
Ricky Webster is the owner of Rind and Wheat. As a baker, he wants his shop to have that special old world charm.
I just see goodness everywhere I look.
Yeah, you know, that was the goal, kind of like that one-stop shop where you could get a nice crusty loaf of bread, pick up some cheese, grab a bottle of wine, go home and kind of lay it out in front of you and just have a food experience with stuff local or from afar or wherever, and kind of just all tied together with a nice loaf of bread and some pastries.
It's one of those places where you just want to keep coming back, and I'm here pretty much every week.
You know, it's not something that you usually see around here. It's got that real home touch to it. Staff is really friendly. Everybody greets you. Everybody talks to you. You know, a little taste test here and there. It's just a good feeling when you come in.
I mean, all the baked goods. I mean, it feels like home.
Everything is made fresh every single morning. So a lot of times that smell will draw people in. They'll see that pastry case, but then they'll turn the corner and they'll be like, oh, you have cheese and you have wine, and well, I don't need to go anywhere else today. Here we go.
Like, glorious. Unique, his flavors are unique.
I mean, the wines and cheeses that he has here, the variety he has there is also, you can't miss.
Coming up later in the show, Ricky and I are making a special seasonal sourdough.
So we can gently tell the bread what it needs to do.
Gently.
Right?
Bread.
It won't do what we want to do.
I need you to do this for me.
Perfect, yeah.
In the heart of Washington wheat country, we're visiting Ryan and James Poe, a father and son team whose family has been farming this land for generations.
You know, I actually don't know what made them stop in Heartline. My family actually homesteaded a section of land that we still farm today. So we're a centennial farm, which means that we've been farming the same land and the same family since prior to statehood.
The spot where the Poe family made their home turned out to be plentiful, offering great conditions for growing amazing Washington wheat.
I think what makes this good wheat country is we let a piece of ground lay fallow for a year to build moisture. And so we're able to kind of build that moisture into the crop. We've been here a long time and hope that, you know, we can keep moving down the generations and keep it in the family.
The next generation of Poe has already started helping out with the family business. We hopped in the combine to let young James show us how he drives the combine to harvest Heartline wheat.
So you're gonna walk them through it.
Okay, so I'm gonna push this button, which is gonna flip in the auger. And then when it's out, in case the gun comes under me, I will start loading into it with this button. Now that it's under me, I am gonna start unloading. Okay, Casey.
Nice job, bud.
Once the wheat is harvested, it has to be shipped to market, and Heartline has a major asset in this area, the short line rail system.
The short line rail is really kind of the lifeblood of our communities, and it's really how we're able to get our crop to market. Our wheat primarily is exported overseas. If we didn't have this system, we would just bog this Highway 2 corridor down with truck after truck after truck. I mean, it's a more carbon-friendly way doing the trains, but it also keeps our highways safer, just keeping as many trucks off of the road.
Resources that our farmers can rely on, like the short line rail, play an important role in their success and the success of our agricultural communities.
Farming is the lifeblood of this community. The businesses that are in here are essentially here to support our farming activities. Everybody that lives in our local communities, you know, has a tie one way or the other specifically to farming.
Hey, let's go. All right, imagine a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and a tall glass of milk. Sounds pretty good, right? But now let's take that peanut butter and make the jelly jalapeno, slap it on a burger. Now we've got spicy and special. And you're still gonna need that glass of milk. Let's go check it out. Adam Hegsted's popular Spokane restaurant, Incrediburger and Eggs, takes it to the road with the Increditruck. Here, they serve up some incredible burgers and fries, all locally sourced.
It's not forgettable, I would say.
Today, Chef Shaughnessy is showing me the PB&J burger made with local beef. But trust me, it's probably not what you're thinking.
We have our Thai peanut sauce we make in-house. We also have a jalapeno jelly, a little bit of spice, a little bit of sweet, and we have a Thai basil aioli that goes on it.
Oh, I couldn't wait to try this for myself. You're expecting peanut butter, but you get that peanut sauce instead, and it really is.
It's delicious.
I really like that a lot. All right, let's see what other people think about this PB&J burger. Go ahead and open that up. This is their peanut butter and jelly burger.
Oh my gosh.
A little bit of savory.
That is a really good burger.
The peanut butter, it complements the meaty cheese. It's weird.
But it tastes great with the burger. I never would have thought you could put peanut butter in a burger. It's really good.
There's peppers in there.
It's a very subtle spice,
Right.
but it adds a really good flavor.
It's like up front, but it's not weird or anything. It's just, it fits.
I would have never thought it would work, but this works.
Next time I see the thing, I'm gonna go for sure. I like it.
How many large semi-trucks does one 4-barge tow take off the road? Answer after the break.
Coming up, I'm making a special summer loaf at Rind and Wheat.
Look at you, I think we got a natural. We are hiring, so no.
And we're in the kitchen at Second Harvest trying out some high-rise dinner rolls.
One 4-barge tow full of wheat takes, on average, 538 large semi-trucks off the road.
We're back at Rind and Wheat in Spokane. Here, a relaxed and friendly atmosphere combined with excellent food will keep you coming back time and time again.
You know, just a place to hang out in the morning before you go on with the rest of your day.
It's homey, it makes you feel welcome.
Which is one of my favorite places to come to in Spokane.
It feels really comfortable and cozy, and you're gonna have carbs and love it.
If you would have asked me 5 years ago, I never wanted to own a bakery.
Owner Ricky Webster is the baker and mastermind behind Rind and Wheat. His passion for using the best ingredients and his personable nature make this shop a unique gem in Spokane.
We really want to take what's in our closest footprint, and if that's us having to go pick up some of that stuff and hand pick them off the tree then ourselves, then we do that. Really making it to where it is that one-stop shop and being able to provide just that little taste of something unique.
Just fell in love with Ricky's personality as well as everything I've eaten.
You get that personal touch.
I mean, the guy's an open person. I mean, you look at him, he's smiling every time you see him. It's just welcoming.
I think he is a celebrity.
You know, it's very much supporting the people who are doing it right here locally. We're
Right.
very, very blessed to have such great food coming from within 300 to 500 miles.
It's one of those places where you just want to keep coming back, and I'm here pretty much every week.
I think it's second to none over here.
What are you and I gonna make today?
We're gonna get our hands dirty and
Okay.
make a good old country rustic loaf of sourdough. And we're gonna celebrate some more of those local ingredients that beyond what's on the
Right.
table here. Yeah. This loaf here is about a 3-day fermentation.
Okay.
So that starts with this good old mix here, which is our,
Okay.
our starter. We're doing a savory roasted garlic and summer herb loaf right now with lots of local ingredients, of course, because
Yeah.
that's really what we're passionate
Yeah.
about. Water, good Spokane's finest.
Spokane's finest. Love it.
Going right into that.
Right from the aquifer.
We add in some shepherd's grain flour and a special dark rye flour from a local farm.
We like that rye to give that little bit of earthiness,
A little
grassiness.
extra something,
Yep.
yeah.
Once that sits, we're gonna finish it off and then shape it, and then it sits again overnight in our fridge.
But the magic of television.
Yeah.
Just magic of television. Ta-da!
Next, we add in an herb mixture and a little bit of lemon zest. Now we move on to a process called the stretch and fold.
A stretch and fold is a way for us to... Yeah, let's do it together. I mean, there's always time for stretching.
Right.
But it's a way for us to incorporate and develop the gluten strands in that dough to get you that nice, springy, chewy loaf,
Sure.
which we all love.
We add in the garlic and stretch and fold 2 more times, letting the dough rest for 30 minutes between each turn. Then we start pre-shaping the loaf.
And now we're just gonna pre-shape this so we can gently tell the bread what it needs to do.
Gently.
Right?
Bread.
It won't do what we want to do.
I need you to do this for me. That's gentle enough.
Yeah.
Next, we let it rest a bit more before pre-shaping again.
Look at you. I think we got a natural. We
First
are.
time anyone's ever said that.
We are hiring, so.
Now we let the loaves sit in the fridge for about 16 hours. Then we take it out and score it with a razor blade. We put our loaf in the oven and cook at 450 degrees for 35 minutes, spraying water into the oven as it cooks.
The steam sets the crust on the outside, so it gives you that nice little crispiness.
Yeah.
And finally, the bread is done.
This is beautiful.
Thank you.
Look at this.
That sound, that nice.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, that's what we want to hear. That's like
Yes.
music to our ears for sure. You can smell the tanginess, but it really gives you that roasted garlic
Yes.
smell. That tanginess, which is almost like cheesy sometimes. It falls into that like umami, like Parmesan rind-esque.
We did a good job.
Did wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
For more restaurants, recipes, farms, and fun, visit wagrown.com.
Washington State grows some of the most amazing cherries. So amazing, in fact, that they're coveted all over the world. Today, I'm in Moses Lake at the Grant County International Airport to learn how they're taking Washington cherries all the way to China.
You know, the Northwest has historically raised a great cherry. It's still a delicacy, you know, in a lot of places around the world, and even in the United States, a good cherry.
Brian Peebles is the export manager with Chelan Fresh. He's been working to export cherries out of Moses Lake rather than Seattle, which allows the cherries to stay cool and retain their freshness.
The cherry is a very delicate item. It doesn't handle heat once it's been picked very well. What it does do is once you get it cooled down, it'll sort of, you know, fall asleep and not continue to ripen. And so in bringing it down to Moses Lake from Chelan and Brewster, we have the opportunity to maintain that cold chain all the way on the plane until it lands.
We're based here at the Grant County International Airport, Moses Lake, Washington, and home of the second biggest civilian runway west of Mississippi.
Jeff Ackridge is the president of Columbia Pacific Aviation, and he and his team work hard to make sure that the process runs as smoothly as possible.
We can usually build up an entire 747 in about 4.5, 5 hours. Okay. Another hour, hour and a half to load it on the aircraft, and away it goes.
So we're looking at less than a day.
Oh yeah.
If you think about picking, packing, and shipping to the East Coast, it's going to take, you know, a minimum of 5 to 7 days to do that. So for us to be able to get it to other parts of the world in 72 or 96 hours really helps.
From a shipping standpoint, to get from the packing houses to here, it's an hour and a half, 2 hour drive, whereas a 4, 5 hour drive to Seattle. So you eliminate that 3 hours right there for sure. So a lot of the trucks can make 2 rounds a day versus just 1. A lot of times when they get to Seattle, they spend 3 or 4 hours going in circles trying to get an offload spot. When we're here, we're usually done right away in a half hour and they're back on the road.
Well, the people here have done a great job of building a program that maintains the cold chain while they're being prepared to be shipped. And so we hope to continue to do that in years to come and maybe even expand the program into other countries.
Now Jeff and I are headed over to the cold storage. These aircraft hangars have been converted into refrigerated units to hold the cherries before their flight. So when you guys converted these units, you had to incorporate these huge air conditioning units, right?
Yeah, they work out real nice. They're through the door system. We can convert it right back to just a dry hangar in a matter of about 2 hours.
Okay, you just pull that out and seal it back up, and it's a regular garage.
Yep.
So we just went from 100 degrees outside, and now in here it's 32 degrees. Yeah.
Seattle, you don't have that on airport. There's cold storage facilities off airport, but once it gets to the airport, it can sit there for hours and hours and hours.
Gotcha.
Out in the sun.
Wow, that is a lot of cherries.
So this is probably 4,000 to 5,000 pounds on each one of these of cherries.
Export to the People's Republic of China. Look at that. So then when August hits, these refrigeration units turn off and you go back to business as usual.
Yeah, roll up the curtains and roll in the airplanes again. That's right.
I think that's great for the industry because it helps deliver a great cherry to the customer on the other end. And that's truly what this is about. You know, if someone gets a great cherry, they're going to buy more. And so that's what we're trying to do.
Coming up, I'm learning how one railway is helping farmers all over Eastern Washington.
It makes the agricultural products grown here in Eastern Washington competitive on that world stage.
So today I'm going to show you how to transplant from a cell tray into a pot. These are zinnias. They've all developed what's called a true leaf. So at emergence, every seedling has a seed leaf, which is the first 2 leaves that emerge. And then after that, they put on what are called true leaves. So that's these larger leaves that are on the outside here of the zinnias. So you want to make sure that when your plants get to the stage where they have true leaves on them, that you are moving them up from their seed tray into something larger so that the roots have room to develop and then the plant will get big and strong. They have a drainage hole in the bottom and I use my handy Sharpie and I just pop through the drainage hole and then I gently tug the zinnia up and out and then you can see that you have a perfect plug. I fill my pot up about 1/3 of the way full and then I pack the soil down into the bottom. So then I'll take my soil and I will fill all the way around my start and then I just gently press it down. So now that that's nice and packed in, I just kind of walk it around like so, make sure that it's nice and tight, and then that's it. Now my plant is ready to go. So from here, what I'll do is I want to make sure every time you transplant something, you want to give it a nice long drink. So make sure that you water it through. The water should come out of the bottom of your pot and then it's ready to go.
Planes, trains, and trucks too. Agriculture moves in all sorts of ways, but one of the most impactful for Eastern Washington is the PCC rail system. Made possible by a unique partnership between Washington State and the private sector, these 300 miles of track serve counties all over the eastern side of the state. Today, I'm talking with Railway Manager Bob Westby of the Washington State Department of Transportation about how this line is helping farmers do their job.
These are primarily agricultural lines. So the vast majority of what we move is wheat and grain.
We're here to try to provide the products and services for that grower to get him back to his field.
Paul Katovich is the CEO of the Highline Grain Growers. He serves the grain farmers along the CW section of the system.
His job is to get that truck back to the field so that his combine doesn't stop. So he's going to deliver most likely to the closest elevator, and from there, that's when we take over.
It picks up the grain from all the elevators between here and Coulee City. The grain is then stored in the facility, and then the BNSF brings their unit trains up from the Cheney interchange through the facility. They load them out, and then that unit train moves from this facility over to the export terminals on the coast.
Wow.
And then from that process, it's loaded onto a ship and sent to the Asian markets.
These short rail lines aren't only beneficial for farmers, they also keep fewer trucks on the road.
A unit train of 110 rail cars is the equivalent of over 400 trucks.
That's 27,300 road miles a day that is removing from our traffic stream.
Even though folks get frustrated when they sit at a rail crossing and watch a train go by, imagine if those were 425 trucks, on the highway.
But the sheer savings in road destruction alone, that carbon footprint component, which is real, that's a great benefit that makes people feel good for the right reasons. We're happy to be a part of that.
We need all these things to function together, and rail is one of those links in the chain.
These are good decisions, and Olympia gets it right sometimes, and they did here.
It makes the agricultural products grown here in Eastern Washington competitive on that world stage.
What is the big kaboom? Like that.
What you're hearing there is the slack coming out of a long train, a long string of cars. So as they move that grain through the facility or the train and unload the cars, they keep pushing the cars forward. And so the slack develops in each of those cars. So when they move them forward, that's what you're hearing coming out of that.
Loud.
Out of that train. Yes, it is loud.
We are in the kitchen here at Second Harvest Food Bank in Spokane, where we get to taste some of the recipes that we find on allrecipes.com. Tomas is helping me out today.
Hello, everyone.
As well as Chef Laurent.
Good to see you, Christy.
Yes, thank you for being here.
Thank you for
really
having me.
appreciate it.
Always a pleasure.
This episode was all about how ag gets moved, from across the state or across the nation or around the globe. And you got to do something really cool.
Yeah, getting to go in there and see these airplane hangars converted into refrigerated units for Washington cherries to be put on a plane and sent over to China or Japan. I think it was only a matter of a day or two, if I remember correctly. But it's quick when that fruit is harvested here in Washington, and they're enjoying it very soon. It's a cool process.
Yeah.
We cannot thank enough all those men and women that are part of our supply chain, and we understand now how difficult it is when that chain is broken.
Yeah, it's kind of a well-oiled machine, how it all kind of works together. Yes, so we're gonna make some high-rise dinner rolls. And there's nothing that brings people to the kitchen quicker than bread in the oven.
Bread in the oven.
I know.
And the smell. Just, it's so comforting and delicious. So high-rise dinner rolls. This recipe is from Tilius, and Tilius says they are soft and very tall, pull-apart rolls with tender crusts.
All right, let's see.
Sounds delicious. Let's take a look at how you make them. There is nothing better than hot, freshly homemade rolls.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Oh, it's
Straight out of the
delicious.
oven with some melted butter, and we have some homemade jam.
Bread, butter, and jam. That's breakfast.
I think everybody loves a good roll, but they often don't have the time to deal with the components of rising and waiting. But boy, that patience pays off when you try a recipe that is simple like this.
Yeah.
You just gotta put a little extra time and let those processes happen, and it's well worth the wait.
So some comments that we got. CJ McGregor says, just wonderful. I don't normally like using whole wheat flour in my rolls, but the buttermilk does something amazing, making the rolls soft and excellent. We had these with Texas barbecue pulled pork.
There you
yeah.
go. Ooh, here we go.
That would be really good. Really delicious,
Yeah.
especially with butter and jam. You can't go wrong. The farmers are feeding needy people right here in this area in partnership with Second Harvest. And so if you want to learn more about Second Harvest, you can go to secondharvestkitchen.org. It's just a great organization, and we're very thankful that they let us hang out in their wonderful teaching kitchen.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So if you would like to have that homemade bread smell in your kitchen to make these rolls, you can find the recipe on wagrown.com. So the next time you're driving through Washington, enjoying these beautiful fields, think of the farmers who harvest this wheat and turn it into something delicious. That's it for this episode of Washington Grown. Thanks for watching.